So it looks like Kristi Noem decided to go on Face the Nation in order to defend killing her puppy, Cricket. What's weird to me is a politician trying to humanize themselves, and they chose to humanize themselves by saying they killed their dog, and also they killed their baby sheep. She goes on in this interview on how the dog was dangerous. I don't know why you wouldn't just give the dog up for adoption, but how is the sheep a threat? Before this controversy, I really did think that Donald Trump was going to pick her as VP. Not after this whole controversy. People love their dogs. Now let's watch this interview and see how she tries to defend herself from this political train wreck. Let's see how she does.
I know you know this question is coming because there's been such an enormous backlash about your revelation that you shot and killed a wire hair pointer named Cricket who was 14 months old. I wonder if you have regrets about sharing this story.
Margaret, this book is filled with vulnerable, painful moments in my life, filled with times where I've made very difficult decisions. And I had little children at the time. Our operation had many kids running around and people in interaction with the public. And I made a difficult choice. I think you're a mother too, and you have little kiddos. Would you make a choice between your children or a dangerous animal?
Okay, I think that was actually a decent answer from her. Hey, I want to keep my kids safe, and this dog was dangerous. But my biggest question is, why wouldn't you give the dog away? In America, people love their animals, especially dogs. And you released this in this book in order to, I think, humanize yourself. You've just given the Democrats a perfect tool in order to attack you. And maybe she was afraid it was going to come out later anyways, and she wouldn't want that to happen if Donald Trump picks her as his vice president. But at this point, I think the damage has been done, and people are just going to hear what they want to hear as far as like you killing your dog. I think this is probably going to be the end of her just because of just the story of killing your dog just rings so badly with American voters. We've also had multiple polls show that people started to dislike her as soon as she announced like, hey, I killed my dog.
How you wrote it up in the book, you didn't say the dog attacked people. You said it had tried to bite you. And I just wonder why you concluded that a young dog was untrainable and not just take it to a shelter.
And I had put months and months of training into this dog. This dog had gone to other trainers as well. When you put someone in a position where they have to make a decision and they want to protect their family and protect children and other people from getting attacked from an animal that has attacked others and killed livestock.
Because you put it in a part of a chapter called Bad Day to Be a Goat. And then after you shot the dog, you, quote, realized another unpleasant job needed to be done. Walking back up to the yard, I spotted our billy goat. You said he smelled and would chase kids, so you took him to the gravel pit and shot him twice. How do you justify that? How is the goat a threat?
Okay, I think that's a little indefensible. The goat smelled it and needed to die. Kind of fucked up that they decided to bring this up. Hey, you murdered a dog, so you also murdered your goat. Let's talk about that now. Was the goat a threat?
Asking you this because it seems like you're celebrating the killing of the animals.
That these animals were attacking my children, that we live on a
The
farm
goat
and a
was
ranch,
attacking
and
your
tough
children?
decisions are made many times. In fact, you and many other journalists attacked me every single day on TV for months for the decisions that I made in South Dakota.
We're talking about how you murdered a goat, so I don't know how that involves the media attacking you. You literally put it in your book, and for some reason she's just playing the victim, being like, hey, I'm being targeted by vicious attacks. How unfair it is as a politician in America.
And former House Speaker Newt Gingrich said, killing the dog and then writing about it ended any possibility of her being picked as VP. End of the book, you say the very first thing you would do if you got to the White House that was different from Joe Biden is you'd make sure Joe Biden's dog was nowhere on the grounds. Commander, say hello to Cricket. Are you doing this to try to look tough? Do you still think that you have a shot at being a VP?
Well, number one, Joe Biden's dog has attacked 24 Secret Service. It's
true.
Enough people to be attacked and dangerously hurt before you make a decision on a dog and
Well,
what
he's
to do
not
with
living
it.
at the White House
That's a
anymore.
question that the president should be held accountable to.
You're saying he should be
That's what
shot?
the president. They've criticized me when I've made other decisions in South Dakota to protect my state. And my state today is extremely happy and thriving. A state that has one of the lowest unemployment rates in the nation. Everybody has an opportunity for higher wages. We've got revenues and reserves. We've paid off our debt. We've got a AAA credit rating. We've got a fully funded pension system. We were the first state in the nation to.
So you're not going
really
to retract the book?
I admire she's trying to get off topic and be like, hey, let's stop talking about me for a sec. Let's talk about my policies and how my state's doing well, which is actually what matters. But people aren't going to get over the fact that you shot your dog and you put it in a book, and then people are going to be like, well, I don't want my vice president to be a dog murdered. And it got turned on her completely, and now she's probably regretting putting that in her book.
Governor?
This book is a powerful book. It's an honest book. It's an honest book about blueprint for America of what citizens can do here to take their country back.
Okay.
And
By
I'm so
shooting
proud
their
of this
dog.
book. And
But if you have
obviously
to
the most
retract
about
it,
politicians
or
is when they're
parts of
fake.
it.
I'm not retracting anything.
I think she is trying to show how tough she is by saying like, hey, I made hard decisions and I felt like me having to shoot this dog was a hard decision. So let's put it in the book. I wouldn't have put anything about the goat because the goat wasn't an obvious threat, but she decided to kill the goat just because it smelled.